God knows when Joseph felt the battle of
Jericho, the battle, Jericho, the battle, Jericho, yes. Joshua played the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
God knows when Joseph fought the battle of
Jericho.
So we are 30 years after you guys created Melody, and about 24 years since you last sang together as a team. I want to know just what kinds of feelings that's bringing out now.
Right. Okay. Good. It's great. Family reunion, family and friends reunion. Many of our family members, wives, children, and other dear ones who have always heard that we used to sing, were able to see us sing for the first time. Like I said earlier on in church today, we used to be just 5 boys singing by ourselves, and then 30 years after, we are now men with families. So it's important for us to be able to pass the feeling that we had amongst ourselves of togetherness, love, and cheer, and creating joy amongst to our children and our families, for them to imbibe this and then also connect with each other, and one day for them to pass this down to another generation. So we're not only a musical group, we're a group of friends who loved each other and wanted to create useful impact around our society. And we also had a foundation, Melody Foundation, for youth edutainment called MEY LOW D, that impacted the lives of over 400 Cameroonians. So when we were not singing, we were impacting lives in music. And many big stars today in Cameroon went through Melody Foundation. So we are happy and we thank God for this.
I think Fino had a dream like MLK. But Fino mentioned this to me once, like 2016, on the phone. Fino said, man, we should, now we are everywhere, you know, Bendix is there, Victor is there, Peter Hits, that we should try to organize one day that we come back and meet, like all of us. And I was telling Fino, man, this is tough because everyone is doing their thing in their own corners. But so this day is, I would say, was already planned in its own way. And we are here today, and the rest Fino has said it, and we are kind of realizing that dream that Fino had some years ago when he mentioned that to me. So I think it's something we should appreciate. Just to add, we were not just friends, practically we were like brothers. So we grew up together, we shared a lot of things. 4 of us slept on in one bed, you know, so only brothers can do such things, you know. So I would say, just to add, it's kind of a dream that we are kind of realizing today.
So you guys are meeting years after you've got family that's between you, because before, in those days, you used to sleep, all of you on one bed, wives and kids were not there. Was that connection still there as it was in those days?
Yeah, so I mean, we didn't sleep on the same bed every night, but we were always ready to adapt to any situation we had. We spent many hours together. I mean, there were many groups all over the Southwest, and even right in other cities there, but they were not as close as we were, because we were not only singers, we also acted. We had sketches, we had plays, and people started liking those plays as well. We had crazy jokes. We hosted parties to unite people. And that is very special to us, because there are many people till this day who still remember these days and these memories and attribute their fun time in UB to us. So that makes us feel very special.
So how have you been catching up since you guys came for this reunion? How have you been catching up? What have you been spending time doing? Remembering the old stories, saying what to each other?
Actually, catching up has been quite a tough issue, you know. Distances, we now live through great gaps of distances. Yet I would say that today has been a special day, and it's the remark I'll make about today is music has been a uniting force. It has been a force of cohesion, you know. Given the time that we were together as young boys and doing what we were doing, and if we can do it again today as we've come, it means it's a great music is a great uniting force. You know, it's not easy to have people from different families, different blood, different spheres, different ways of thinking, mentality, coming together and then doing what we're doing. You know, today back at the church when we were celebrating, we started the celebration in church today. It was like, wow, I'm back again in this church. And with so many similar faces, and the faces don't seem to change at all. You know, it is like bringing me to all what I love. You know, through this, through music as we met, I think I built families. I joined families. Amongst all of us, none of us have the same blood. But then we found the same mentality. We found the same focus. And I will bet you, even if we are not all of us in the same, not all of us do music daily, you know, as job, but music has remained part of us. And so it is some sort of a uniting force, which I think if this happened today, the certitude about happening again in the future is 100%.
Just to add on that, catching up is one of the things that we would say has been impressive in the past, let's say, 10 years. At the beginning, it was kind of tough with us living in separate locations. It was hard for us to meet as we met in Anguissa or at UB hostels and stuff, because we could just move in 3 minutes. I'm in Victor's room or Bendrick's. But someone in the United States and Cameroon or Germany, is tough to just meet up. I would say the evolution of technology or communication technology has been our friend the past 10 years, because we reconnected through, we have our own WhatsApp group where we chit chat and do jokes and still laugh in there. So it kind of connects us, not physically, but I would say mentally and spiritually for the past, even though we live in different locations, that has helped us really stay united in the past couple of years.
Well, I have been lucky to meet up with these guys in different occasions, right? I was here for Finyo's wedding 2015.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. I've got a chance to visit Victor in Las Vegas, and Victor has visited me as well in Texas. And Peter Hitler, I haven't seen this guy for like 25 years. It feels like 90-something years or something like that. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. But, you know, all this coming together.
I visited you.
Yes. But all this coming together was just, I mean, it just happened. Because last year, 2 years ago, Desmond visited me in Texas. He came with his entire family. And his daughter and my daughter really connected, along with the other kids. You know, they really connected. And those two girls planned to meet in Germany the next year. I didn't know about it. And they just came to me and told me, my daughter told me, I'm going to Germany to visit Uncle Desmond. I was like, okay, when did this happen? They said, well, we planned it already, so it's left for you to just pay. All right. And then, you know, eventually it happened. So she was there last year to visit Desmond, and then the family was just amazing. And, you know, this year, Desmond called me and told me they're planning a vacation to Cameroon, right? And they told me maybe if I just come along, you know, perhaps all the guys can come along and then we can meet, and then it will be one big family reunion. You know, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm so busy, I can't do this. And I was already in my mind, nah, this is not happening. Then someday Desmond calls me and he's like, hey man, so what do you think? Let us know, are you gonna come? And I'm like, you know, I don't think I can come because my daughter's gonna be in school, you know, and we were on speakerphone, so everybody could hear. My daughter was right there listening. I said, I don't think I can come. My daughter's gonna be in school. She can't make it, and so on. I said, Kylie, you're not gonna be around, right? She's like, no, I'm not gonna be in school. I can go. And then I was like, boy. So that's how for me it happened. You know, I committed to come, and then when they talked to Victor, and Victor was committed as well, then it started really looking like it was gonna happen. And
Yes,
here
do
we
you
are.
guys feel like the boys that you were in those days playfully now, like you were in those days? You still have that same feeling?
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
It's the same feeling.
Don't say it too loud for our children to hear that.
Okay, so I can see that you actually have marked each other's lives in very special ways. You guys have this bond that has not aged, even though you've grown old within because I can see you have some white hairs around, white beards around. But then, do you people think that the impact that you had, your work, your music had on people in those days has aged? Or do you feel it's still very present today when you sang in church?
Man,
Music doesn't get old.
Do you think the impact of that music was
I would
felt?
say I think the impact was felt from what we heard people saying to us directly after church service. We could see people moving and singing even while we were singing, and it made us see that these people still remember those songs even after 20-something years. So that impact was felt. And actually, some asked again if we were going to have a concert tonight at church. I was like, no, we're not going to have a concert. But the good thing is,
Yes. Let's go back to tell us how you created impact in those days and how that feels now.
So in those days, the way we created impact, first of all, is through our jokes. Before we were on stage, we were fun at the hostels, at our rooms, at parties. We cracked jokes like we cracked. So that helped also have a connection with our friends. And some people just said they actually built a fan group. We were not looking for fans. We were just entertaining ourselves and our friends. So the group started getting very, very popular. And then we found out that people liked our presence. So we took it seriously. And we started performing at school. At university. And we started going to other schools too. Sase, we went to Sase, we went to BHS, we went to Kumba, we went to other areas. And that impact was felt there. So it gave us the incentive to keep doing what we're doing. And we saw that today at church too. And we were also very encouraged when Mr. Gafferson came today and said kids should learn. And I never thought about it. I'd say it's because we spent many hours, we stayed away from trouble, many hours practicing, and we could be doing other things during those evenings, but it kept us disciplined in a way.
I think what's interesting about impact is that the impact that we have on people is, I would say, I can divide it in two levels. So we started off mainly at the university. So we were more of entertainers, but our personality was that first level that I can say was that what the way of life that we had was interesting to a lot of people that we met. So they saw us together, boys that were always walking together, cracking jokes, laughing, always together. People that watched us, our audience, were impressed, let me put it that way, of the way of life that we had. Then this next level was what we provided to our audience, the music, the jokes, the little theater sketches that we presented. I would say it went beyond entertainment. It kind of gave a message that boys could do other things apart from just reading books or being kids. We could also connect with university students. But I would say the way the impact could happen was the different audience that we had. Church, schools, like Victor said, university students, and in some cases it was recorded and played on TV. So people watched us in different television programs like sports programs. So I think it has changed in its way because we have now less audience than we had in back in the days at university. Or what do you guys think?
I think we've gone beyond music. There was one thing that carries on till date. Every Melody member, everywhere he is making some form of impact. Just the fact that we were always on stage and sometimes in rooms or events or in the church, making people feel happy, it became part of our lives to always grow making people happy. And sometimes we can make people happy. Bendrix being one of the most popular MCs, Cameroonian MCs in America right now. Victor with a lot of art he does in Vegas and making people so happy. Peter Idla owns now a music school in Boya, besides being working in the central administration of the University of Boya. Mondo Desmond works in Heidelberg with the military, with the military, and also very active with entertainment. And at the same time, we are involved with actions of development. So one of the things, this is the underlying thing was not the music, but trying to make an impact in people's lives. So we're using various avenues through business, through development, through our professions, through our family interactions, through everything we do to take that melody spirit of making a joyful environment to touch other domains that can actually help in contributing and making lives better, building nations, impacting lives, and making and bringing welfare. So that's one of the strong things that Melody brought to us, and we are still actively doing that.
So you guys are a good example of. You want to say something?
Yes, I was going to say, besides all the things that we thought we were doing, we were really, really blessed. Really blessed because, and I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who's encouraged us throughout the years. Sometimes we sang for ourselves, but it was others who made us go sing for others. When they heard us, they wanted to hear more, they wanted to direct us, and they came to us and they were not afraid to say, you guys are doing good, you can get even better, keep on keeping on. So that encouragement was amazing. Our parents, oh my goodness, they're just at a different level, because when you do things like this, in those days, they might think you're going to get wayward. You will forget about school, you'll forget about what's important and just enjoy the social life. But our parents trusted us and, they kept encouraging us. Even in moments when they didn't want us to be out there, sometimes they exercised some tolerance and patience. So those things were amazing. Family, friends. As a matter of fact, sometimes we might think that we kept the fan group together, but they actually kept us together even more, because there were times when we have to practice, we have to do a concert, we felt like we can just stop this right here because it's challenging, we would argue and so on. But when you come out, the people tell you, we can't wait for your concert, it's gonna be great and so on. You just get some energy from somewhere else to carry on. So I thank them even more than the work that we put together. They did even more.
So you guys are a good example of how friendship has no limits to the good that it can bring to a group of people, right? True friendship can really bring a lot. Yeah. You guys have that, and if that's one thing I care about your group, it is about this friendship that has brought a lot of good, not only to you, the members of the team, but the rest of the people. I want to know if you have plans. Do you want to leave it there? Is that what Melody is going to be about, or does Melody want to keep something? Maybe an album, a musical album. Are you going to take it to the next level? What next level are you taking it to? Because this is already high, and you probably need to go to the next level. What would that next level be?
We're going to decide during this trip. Yeah. I would say everything is possible. Personally, I don't think we've thought about anything concrete yet, but the spirit of Melody is still alive. And during this trip, before we leave, we will come up with something. We don't know anything yet. So I don't know if somebody has something yet about it.
You just want to have fun.
That's the thing. When we sang at those places, we sang and we were having fun. It was not like work for us. There are some groups that sang and it was like work. I'm not talking about, just here, all over the country and other places. But we were having fun when we sang, and we didn't look at it like we were working. We just sang and had the fun, and people went back home happy, and that was the biggest pleasure we had when people went back home happy. So just like we're here, maybe something will come up from this. So
yeah, I can tell you something is already brewing. Peter Ila, can you let them in on it?
No, I was just holding the mic so that you can have it. However, today, I would say that today is a day when we think of our legacy. It's a legacy. I would say by the time when we started, right? We had the Tribute Sisters, we had the Flavor Drops, we had the Flavor Units, we had a good number of groups at the time. Then now, if you have to put together all of those groups, I think the Melody is still standing so strong. So we have a legacy. And secondly, let's go back to the University of Boya, where we had a lot of impact. At the I-State, everybody left me there. Everybody just went, dissipated in thin air. So I had to stay back at the University of Boya working. I've been working at the University of Boya for this is my 22nd year. Within these 22 years, I bet you there have not been a single group of young boys, or talk about young girls, which can stand up to what we have done. So it's actually today, when I think of today, it's a legacy. We have a legacy back there at the University of Boya, and even in the entire Cameroon, because we stood so firm. We were great entertainers. And today, what I see today is we can still do it. Only distance doesn't permit us to meet so often, but we have suddenly found ways to break the distances. That's the reason why we're here today, and we are. That's right. Okay, that's it.
So you guys, I think we could go on and on and on and on, but I think we have to put an end to this conversation. And you guys have found a treasure in each other. And if there's a message that you want to give, probably we haven't discussed this, and there's something that you think is really strong, you want to pass it on, what would that be?
I think I just want to say thank you to, like Bendrix mentioned this before, but we want to thank especially the Mabu family. They really supported this group from the beginning and right up to this moment. We want to thank our parents, like Bendrix said, who supported us, even though some of them had doubts of how we're going to end up. We thank all those other people, I would say parents that supported us, friends, and the fans. I think thank you is something that we really want to give out there to everyone that supported us, and also to say that, like Peter Heath said, who knows, this might be the beginning of another chapter of Melody's book.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. He's a music teacher, and Mom right there has a foundation, and she offered a room for him to come and teach music, and we talked about making that room part of Melody's legacy. Perhaps we will find ways to set up something there that can benefit others. And to the young people who are out there, I'll say whatever talent you have, just use it. You never know where it might take you to, and it might not just be what you study in school. What you study in school is really important. It just comes to shape everything that is in you. So take from us, if you can, that you can be better than you think you can right now. So be encouraged.
Okay, cool. I guess that's it.
Perfect.